Ryan Kajis' parents didn't just drop the bag. They tossed it off a cliff, lit it on fire, and filmed the flames for ad revenue. Cheyenne and Luan Kaji built Ryan's world, turning their cheerful little boy into a billion-dollar brand. They became the face of family content, the symbol of YouTube's golden age of kid channels. And now they're watching it all crumble like a stale cookie under pressure. And let's be honest, karma's been waiting for this one. Back in 2015, Cheyenne and Luan noticed something magical. People loved watching kids open toys. It started small, just a cute 3-year-old unboxing random gifts in the living room. But that one spark turned into a wildfire. Within a few short years, Ryan wasn't just famous, he was the highest paid YouTuber on earth, making over $20 million a year before he could even read his own contracts. That's wild. Imagine being in kindergarten while out-earning surgeons, engineers, and half of Hollywood combined. But the real story isn't Ryan's success, it's what his parents did with it. Because while the internet was clapping for the adorable kid on screen, Cheyenne and Luan were behind the curtain, quietly transforming into full-time business moguls. They quit their normal jobs. She was a chemistry teacher, he was an engineer, and went all in on YouTube fame. They built a production company called Sunlight Entertainment, hired a 30-person crew, and basically turned their house into a factory where their son was the product. Ryan became the face, the mascot, the machine. Now let's pause here, because this is where the story turns. Ryan didn't have a say in any of this. He wasn't signing deals. He wasn't choosing how many hours to film or when to take breaks. He was a toddler doing what toddlers do, following instructions from adults he trusted. Meanwhile, those adults were cutting massive deals with Walmart, Nickelodeon, and Colgate. By 2019, Ryan's face was on everything from backpacks to bubble bath. He had a Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade balloon, a Red Titan video game, toothpaste, t-shirts. If there was a surface, Ryan's smile was printed on it. They built a billion-dollar empire on the back of a 5-year-old. And that's when people started asking questions. Because when your kid's playtime starts to look suspiciously like a commercial shoot, the internet notices. The FTC noticed too. They launched an investigation accusing the Kajis of mixing ads with organic content, basically turning playtime into product placement. Think about that. Millions of preschoolers were watching toy reviews, not realizing half those toys were paid promotions. That's not cute marketing, that's psychological warfare. On toddlers. Under pressure, the Kajis rebranded Ryan's toy review into Ryan's World, as if a name change could erase the smell of over-sponsorship. It was like renaming a casino the Fun Money Adventure Center. Same thing, different packaging. Meanwhile, the grind never stopped. Ryan was filming as many as 25 videos a week across multiple channels. That's more output than most adult creators produce in a month. And remember, he was still learning multiplication tables. Every aspect of his life became monetized. Family vlogs, bedtime routines, brushing his teeth, science experiments, vacations, all turned into content. No privacy, no downtime, no childhood without a camera lens in his face. The scariest part? There were no real protections. Hollywood child actors have labor laws and trust funds to protect their income. YouTube kids have nothing. Legally, every penny Ryan earned belonged to his parents. So while he was the breadwinner, mom and dad were holding the bread, the butter, and probably the entire bakery. And that worked. For a while. But the thing about exploiting fame is that it has an expiration date. You can't keep a kid in that loop forever. And when karma shows up, it doesn't knock first. Fast forward to now, and the Kaji empire is collapsing like a sandcastle in high tide. The same channel that once dominated YouTube with billions of views now struggles to hit 100,000. A 70% drop in viewership. That's not a decline. That's free falling without a parachute. Why? Simple. Ryan grew up, and so did his audience. The preschoolers who once worshipped him are now preteens who find the content cringe. Meanwhile, new toddlers have no interest in watching a teenager fake excitement over toys. It's like watching your older brother play with action figures. You love him, but something about it just feels off. And as if losing the audience wasn't enough, YouTube's own system turned against them. After the COPPA crackdown, kid channels stopped getting boosted by the algorithm. Suddenly, family vlogs weren't the goldmine they used to be. Even Luan herself admitted they lost 70% of their income overnight. That's not a haircut. That's financial amputation. So what do you do when the money slows down? You chase a bigger bag. Enter Ryan's World, Titan Universe Adventure, their first feature film. It sounded epic, a superhero adventure starring the boy who conquered YouTube. But instead of blockbuster success, it became one of the biggest YouTube to Hollywood flops ever. The movie cost $10 million to make and grossed barely $600,000. $9.5 million down the drain. By its third weekend, it was getting outperformed by indie films no one had ever heard of. And the worst part? Nobody was surprised. Audiences weren't there for Ryan the brand. They had outgrown Ryan the child star. The magic was gone. From the outside, it looked like poetic justice. The same empire built on overexposure was finally collapsing under its own weight. But inside that mansion, things were getting darker. Ryan's videos started to feel empty. He looked tired. His smile felt forced. The energy that once carried the whole channel was gone. He was still a kid, but you could see it. He'd rather be anywhere else. And what did his parents do? They pivoted. They shifted the spotlight to his twin sisters, Emma and Kate. At just 7 years old, the girls were suddenly starring in new family spin-offs and animated series. The internet immediately caught on. It felt like watching someone drain one well and start digging another. Comments poured in. Ryan made his parents $34 million, and now they're exploiting his sisters. People weren't laughing anymore, they were angry. Because now it was obvious this wasn't about family bonding. It was about business. It was about keeping the YouTube factory running at all costs. The backlash hit hard. Every new upload got flooded with criticism. Every interview came off awkward. Ryan would barely speak while his parents did all the talking, smiling through the storm. It was uncomfortable to watch. Viewers began predicting a Netflix documentary, The Boy Who Built YouTube's Richest Family. And if we're being real, that headline writes itself. All of this sparked something bigger. Lawmakers started taking notes. Several states introduced new laws requiring parents of child influencers to set aside a portion of their kids' income. Finally, some protection for the next Ryan, because the system that made him a star also failed him completely. Now, the Kajis are scrambling to stay relevant. They're recycling old footage of Ryan as a toddler, re-uploading clips that used to work, using his younger face and thumbnails for videos he barely appears in. Meanwhile, Emma and Kate are being pushed harder than ever, but everyone sees through it. The audience has grown up, and they're done funding this storyline. At this point, it's only a matter of time. By the time Ryan turns 18, the entire operation will likely collapse under its own greed. That's not just speculation. It's the natural result of burnout, overexposure, and exploitation meeting the end of their shelf life. And honestly, good. Because the fall of Ryan's World isn't just karma, it's a cautionary tale. A mirror held up to every parent chasing viral fame at their kids' expense. You can't build an empire on childhood and expect it to last. You can't treat innocence like inventory and expect the audience to stay loyal. The Kajis still have their mansion, their product lines, their fancy brand deals, but what they don't have anymore is respect. Their reputation's burned, their legacy's cracked, and their golden goose? Fried extra crispy. So here's to Ryan Kaji, the kid who carried a billion-dollar industry on his small shoulders. May he finally get to live like a normal teenager, with no cameras, no scripts, no brand deals. Just peace. And here's to his parents. May they enjoy their ocean view while watching their empire fade, built on the childhood they cashed in. Because sometimes, the best revenge isn't loud. It isn't a scandal or a lawsuit. It's simply time. Time for the audience to move on. Time for the truth to settle. Time for karma to clock in and start collecting overtime pay. Because at the end of the day, Ryan's World might have started as a toy channel, but it ended as a warning label for what happens when family, fame, and money collide.